I lost my train of thought. Hello, I hope you are doing super well. I have not posted anything this month because I have not completed any hardest reading challenge you'll ever do prompts, but I am still chugging along and I am very close to finishing quite a few of them. So I'm just going to walk through each of the books that I read this month and which prompts they counted towards. So in the month of August, I read 7 books, 2 of which were physical, 5 of which were on my iPad, and 2, I believe, were checked out from the library. The first book that I read this month was A Treachery of Swans by A.B. Poranek, and this is the June Illumicrate version. It has been out for quite a while, so I don't feel particularly scared showing this one off. It is a beautiful edition of this book. It's beautiful. That one was a 5 stars for me. I loved everything about it. I think that this is a great YA novel. It is a sapphic romance that did not show anything, but there are some closed door scenes and things implied. So I guess I should preface this by saying this is a Swan Lake inspired reading, and it definitely followed plot points of that fairy tale or that story. The chapters are themed like a ballet or like a play, and I think that was very well done. Oh my gosh. And for this book, I decided to count it towards the new releases because this came out in June and I read it in August before the day it had come out, so it had been less than 60 days, less than 60 days, which is the rule. So I counted this towards the new releases, and then I also put this in the queer alphabet prompt for lesbian, I believe. This was a good one, 5 stars. The next one that I read was Lights Out, and I listened to this through the Libby app as an audiobook. I was very shocked to find how easy it was to listen to the audiobook through the Libby app, so that was wonderful. Audiobooks are not my favorite format just because my brain, even though it's allowed to work on multiple things at once, it gets very distracted. Audiobooks have always been a bit of a challenge, but the voice actors in this Lights Out version were amazing. I enjoyed it so much. Lights Out is a dark romance, which is a genre that I do not read very often, but I had a good time. I don't think that I would rate it anything higher than a 3, and I guess I should explain how I rate books. Everything starts at a 3, and it could either go up or it could go down. This just works for me, even though it might not be a universal book rating process. That's just how I work, and it helps me not feel guilty about giving books less than 5 stars. So this process helps me stay unbiased and kind of removed from the book itself. So everything starts at a 3. It just feels fair that way, and it can either go up or it can go down, and the system has worked very, very well for me. The only con I see with it is that when I give a book a 3 star, it does not mean that I did not like it. It just means that it's average, that I had an average time reading it, that I enjoyed it, but I probably wouldn't pick it up again. I probably wouldn't buy it from the store if I borrowed it. I did give Lights Out a 3 stars because, again, I enjoyed listening to it, but I do not feel the need to pick it up from the store and add it to my shelves, and I do not feel the need to read it again. But it was good. And the prompts that one counted towards was my subgenres of choice and the animals, because there is actually a pet cat in that book that shows up very often. Subgenres of choice, as we will kind of see, is a theme this month. So the 3rd and 4th book that I read this month are part of Ursa Dax's Cowboy Colony Mail Order Bride series. I picked up this series back in July when I was waiting for HRCYED 2 to start. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I had so much trouble waiting for HRCYED 2 to start, and I could not read anything that would count for HRCYED 2. So I picked up this series because it seemed like a fast, fun read that wouldn't take too much brain power and wouldn't put me in a reading slump. Oh my gosh, you guys. It is often those books that we think about the most, huh? Anyways, so ever since I did that, I've not been able to stop. I have indeed finished the series up to publication, and the next one comes out in October, so I am desperately waiting for that. Third and fourth books that I read this month in August were part of that series. There was book 5 in the series. I chose subgenres of choice and the even bigger rainbow because it was all green, so that fit perfectly. And then the one after that, I actually haven't picked prompts for. I could be wrong, but as of right now on my sheet, it's blank. But I might have put them somewhere. But I have still kind of been shuffling things around. I have not submitted any of this. The only time I submit books to the official HRCYED 2 website is when I finish a prompt. And because I've only finished the 24-hour reading prompt, I have only submitted that one. And then the secret prompts, of course. The ratings for the 2 books was I gave this one 5 stars and I gave the second one 4.75 stars. I think I've given almost every book 5 stars. The next book that I read in the month of August is The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy by Brigitte Knightley, and this, if I am not mistaken, used to be a Hermione fanfiction, which is Draco and Hermione if you didn't know. Also, this is the July, yes, this is the July Illumicrate edition. I'm pretty sure this one has also been released on their Instagram, so I feel pretty safe showing off this one. This was such a surprise when I took it out of the box because that is so cool. I've never seen like a vellum cover like that. Anyways, that is great. And the art is stunning. Sorry, I'm trying not to make it crinkle so loud. But it was written so well. Like, the world is so thought out and the magic system is really, really cool. Characters in the world do remind me of something that I've seen before, but they are so completely their own, so original, that I think they did such a good job taking this and creating its own universe. It is not a standalone. I keep doing this to myself. I don't know why. I don't research this going in, but it's kind of funny. So this is not a standalone. It is probably going to be a duology. If I am mistaken, please let me know. I gave this 4 stars. Again, my rating system, I really like this one, and I've thought about it a lot since I finished it. I remember why. The language and the writing is very different from what I'm used to, which doesn't make it wrong, doesn't make it bad. It was just really fun to read, but sometimes it felt a little more difficult to get through because I didn't understand a lot of things. Part of what made this world so original was that there were a lot of new concepts, new ideas that were introduced, and I think the world building was done well, but there were still things that were mentioned that weren't quite explained. So definitely at the beginning of the novel, I don't know if I have a clip. I probably have a clip of me starting this one and turning to the camera and saying, I have no idea what's going on. Okay, just finished the first chapter. First impressions, I'm a little bit confused. Okay, so it jumps right in, and I think that if I wasn't picking up on context clues, I might be a little bit frustrated with how fast it was explaining new things, and I kind of don't understand some things, but I'm sure it'll be explained later. I mean, it is only the first chapter. Yeah, so it was a little hard at the beginning to get through, but towards the middle, towards the end, I was flying through it, so it didn't really make that much of a difference at the end. But definitely in the beginning, I was putting on my metaphorical wading boots, and I was wading through the first few chapters, but I still really enjoyed it. So that's why I gave it a 4. And this one I have definitely put on prompt, so I don't know why I didn't fill it out on my sheet. The first one that I put it for was the rainbow challenge, and I put it for white because even though there's like lots of color on this, I kind of showed you the cover when you take it off is white. I'm counting it, it is almost completely white, which is something that I don't really have right now on my shelf, so that felt pretty good. I do have a few in the rainbow prompt left, I think 5 or 6, but we are knocking it down, and it started out as 11, so that means we are more than halfway through that prompt, which is so exciting. I put it on the subgenres as well, and that one as a romantasy. We're knocking down that one, and that one will be done by the end of September. I can promise you that. The 6th book that I read in the month of August was actually an e-arc, and I read To Touch a Silent Fury by Sandpiper. It comes out September 5th, which is tomorrow as I am filming this, and I will just preface this by saying I gave it 4 stars. I really liked it. It is a fantasy romance. I do have a video on TikTok of me reading the last chapter, or like the last 2 chapters of that one, and I had some crazy reactions. All of them were genuine. I was not faking. The world is inspired by the 5 senses, and I thought that was very unique, something that I haven't seen before, and I think it was done really well. It is very clear that the author has put so much time and effort into not just the world building, not just like the main characters, but the side characters. The side characters have so much to them, like substance to them. It is very clear that thought was put into that, which is amazing. It had a little bit of everything. If you like enemies to lovers, a little bit of forbidden romance, I would say. Powers, dragons, dragon riders, that kind of thing. I would definitely recommend it. When I gave a 4-star, and I did count it towards a new release in September, so I don't have to worry about that this upcoming month. And then I also counted it for By the Hundreds, which is a prompt that I haven't really started. And I think I mentioned this somewhere, but it's so hard. That one has been so hard for me because it could count for so many things, and for some reason I never choose By the Hundreds. But I also know that's gonna be very easy to complete at the end or whenever I choose to focus on it. So the last book I read in the month of August was also my book for secret prompt number 2. If you do not want to know what that is, although I don't think it quite matters because it is too late to complete it. Secret prompt number 2 was to read a book with a pun in the title, and I was so excited when I saw that because one of my most anticipated reads for the month of August was a punny book. So I decided to read If All Else Sails by Emma St. Clair, and this is a sports romance technically. The reason why I wanted to read this one so bad is because it had a sailboat on the cover, and if you don't know, I am taking sailing lessons because I love boats, I love sailing. Anyone who watches is part of my crew, so hey crew, hello, how are you doing? That was the first reason why I wanted to read this book. Second reason is because the main character, the female main character, her name is Josie. Oh my gosh. Anyways, so yes, and I enjoyed this book so much. I gave it a 4.5 stars because genuinely, it was just so fun to read. It is a summer romance. Josie, the main character, goes to meet her brother at a rental cabin, only to find out that her brother has sent her to his best friend's location because he refuses to take care of himself after an injury. And they've known each other for a while, but they do not like each other, or they assume they do not like each other. This one did not have any spice in it, which I thought was really refreshing. That was secret challenge number 2, was to read a book with a pun in the title. So If All Else Sails counts. The way secret challenges work is it counts for the secret challenge and then it counts for 2 prompts. The reward for the secret prompt changes every time, but for this month it was to use a book for an extra prompt, so I used this secret challenge book for the secret challenge and then 2 prompts, and those are my 3. Something like that. It's a little bit confusing, but every time I look at the Discord with the information, I'm like, oh, okay, I understand now. But then I leave and then I don't know. Anyways, I'll just tell you the 2 prompts that I chose for this one, and then, you know, it'll be fine. Subgenres of choice, like I said, it is a theme this month. And then I used it for new releases in August. So I have done new releases for June, July, August, and now September because of the arc. Now I just get to talk to you about plans for September. So I'm going to finish the subgenres of choice because I only have one left. I just need to choose a romance in a subgenre that I haven't, which is becoming a little bit challenging, but I can flip it. I can flip it to work for me, I promise. The second thing that I want to do is participate in a readathon, and the way I'm going to be doing that is a little unorthodox. So I don't know if you've ever heard of the Aurelium Academy readathon, or I forget what it's called, like the magical readathon. I have a way to participate this month, even though this is my first year. Anyways, so those are the books that I read in August, and that is what I'm up to in the month of September. I really want to thank Liz for commenting on one of my first videos on YouTube and talking about my book, saying that they were going to purchase a copy and read it. I checked on Goodreads the other day and I found a beautiful comment from Liz, so thank you so much for supporting a self-published small author. So I just want to thank Liz for staying open-minded and leaving a wonderful review. I really appreciate it. So thank you, and I hope that this is at least somewhat inspiring and that I'm not talking too much, but I really just love sharing what I'm up to. Anyways, I will see you all later. Bye!